afternoon. Hello, I'm Jim Witzel. I'm a staff member here at the Pomeroy Recreation and Rehabilitation Center, and we're here in the senior room where I work 4 days a week. And I'm here to tell all of you about my Pomeroy portrait painting project, which I've been doing for about 10 years now or so. And here in the senior room, we've got a selection of my portraits of people associated or participants or staff or volunteers here at the Pomeroy Center. The reason I wanted to start with this one today is the lady in the blue and white is my wife, Patricia Witzel. She passed away just about 2 years ago. And she's really, in many ways, the inspirer of my painting project, because a great number of the paintings here have been done from photographs that she took here at the Pomeroy Center. She was she was a mom. First my son, my late son, and then my daughter Nancy were clients here. And Pat was very industrious and excited and enthusiastic about taking photos of everybody she possibly could here at the Pomeroy Center. So, like I said, her hundreds and hundreds of photographs inspired me to start wanting to paint the people here. So the people in the painting are, there's Patricia. On the right side of the picture is my daughter Nancy. She was about 30 years old at the time that photo. By the way, that was from a photograph that I took. Right in back of Pat, in the orange sweatshirt, is Juanita Brand, who's been a long, long time employee here, and I still work with her every day I come here to the Pomeroy Center. In the painting, to the left of my wife is Lanier Green, a very long-term participant here. Lanier's mom, Rose, used to be one of the cooks when they used to make hot meals every day for all the clients and staff here. Next, in the front of the picture is Chad Saley. Everybody here at the center knows Chad. He's a witty, funny fellow and quite entertaining to be around. Quirky, to say the least, but then pretty much everybody here is. And the far left of the picture is Sarah, a very popular employee here. Back of Chad is Shannon, who was one of our employees in the ADD department. That's the Adult Development Department, which both of my children were in. I think also I want to point out the photograph that this painting's based on was taken out in front of the main buildings of the Pomeroy Center at the van loading area where participants arrive and then are picked up at the end of the day. In back of them is a planter box full of rose bushes, and I'll talk about those some more. Keep those in mind. The reason I started this painting project was my wife took so many hundreds of pictures of people here at the Pomeroy Center, and I just had a desire to acknowledge and celebrate all the wonderful, amazing people here at the Pomeroy Center, the volunteers, the staff, the administration, and of course the wonderful participants. If you read Janet Pomeroy's book, Among the Roses, you'll get an idea of the joys and challenges of working in this center. I think pretty much everybody who works here feels like they've got the best job in the world. I was very fortunate to meet Janet Pomeroy. She was truly an amazing woman. I recommend all of you try and get a copy of her book. She talks about her journey to creating this center, finding out about different ways to work with people with interesting disabilities. The reason she called it Among the Roses was, in her thinking, all the participants and clients here at the center were precious and unique and beautiful. When Janet started working with people with disabilities, she had no previous experience. She just simply felt led by divine guidance to do this sort of thing, and just built this center from the ground up. Started with about 5 or 10 participants over at the Fleischacker pool. Right next to Janet, to the right, is David Dubinsky, who's our current CEO, a wonderful man who's done tremendous work supporting all the participants and the staff here at the Pomeroy Center. To his right is Noah, a longtime participant here. I used to work with Noah when I worked with the Brainstorm group. The Brainstorm is a group here at the Pomeroy Center comprised of participants who've had traumatic brain injury of some kind. So therefore they need some special services to help rebuild their lives and their interests and their recreation. Noah, by the way, was the person who inspired and suggested that the Pomeroy Center start a participant council. Senior participant Sonia, I believe she's been a Pomeroy participant for at least 20 years, as far as I'm aware. She's very, very fond of raw garlic when she's able to come here, and an interesting person. There's Juanita with one of our wonderful senior participants, Liz Bliss, who just passed away a little over a year ago. Liz was a very long-term participant here. Liz had an encyclopedic knowledge of all things in musical theater and Broadway. Liz is well known all around the center for coming up with the idea to have a Pomeroy Olympics. She's well loved and well remembered by everybody here. There's the current co-chief of our senior department, Randall, and right next to him on the left is Lee, one of our participants. That's Maya Scott. She's actually an employee of City College of San Francisco. And she's a very valued member of our team because she has done classes in art and in drama here at the Pomeroy Center. That's her seeing eye dog helper, Fiddler, who used to come with her here for many years to the center. Former employee here at the senior department named Maria, one of our newer staff members named Alyssa. Just down the hall here in the Herbst building, we have a beautiful kitchen, and Alyssa is one of the stars in helping people put cooking classes together. Cindy Blackstone, for many years, helped arrange the schedule for all the different adult departments. Cindy was always very involved with special events, with volunteers, with showing visitors around. There's a painting of the fabulous Pivy. Pivy was for quite a while, I believe she worked originally in our Marin County branch of the Pomeroy Center. That program ended, and then Pivy came down to work here in the San Francisco Center, and for a while was helped run right here in the senior department. That's a participant named Chucky. He was a long-term participant here in the senior department. Bobby Pacheco was a participant for a long, long time. Obviously was a big sports fan. Sad to say, about 4 years ago, he passed away rather suddenly, and we really miss Bobby. David Quesada, he's one of the staff members in Teen R. R stands for Recreation. Been a staff member here for quite a long time, for 25 years. He was very much involved for quite a while with the Theater Unlimited program, which we had here. Punch is a very cheerful and friendly guy. We really enjoy seeing him several times a week in the Zoom classes. There's Maxwell, and I took that photograph at the Bowling Fun Day, which is a special event we had for many years during the summertime. Former staff member Sarah, and there she is at one of the dance events that we put on here at the Pomeroy Center with a senior participant named John, senior participant named Eileen, and Eileen was a very sweet and friendly lady. Our participant named Nicholas, he's one of our senior participants. Alla and Christina, one of our beautiful staff members. You can see they're at camp having a really fun time. The far right in the red is Juanita Brand, one of our stalwart, reliable senior staff who has a long history here at the Pomeroy Center. And the other two ladies in the picture were volunteers from San Francisco State University. And on the right is staff member Kevin, a very cool guy here in the senior department. That's Carrie on the left of the picture. She's just a unique, cool person. On the left is Tyrone Keith, a unique and amazing personality here at the Pomeroy Center. Everybody knows he's somewhat obsessed with professional wrestling. He's having a talk with Richard Cartman, who is one of our board members here at the Pomeroy Center. Staff member who works upstairs mainly, that's LaFay. And there she is in the gymnasium sharing a moment with Poncho. That's a painting I did of Kong, who's one of our staff members in Team V. He's a very friendly, funny guy. On the left there is Sandra Fernandez. She's one of the longest-term participants here at the Pomeroy Center. Ken Frank's a tall, strong fellow who's a participant here. Ken Jones, who was a board member here. This is a painting of two of our volunteers from St. Ignatius High School. These two young women are Carly and Maya. My daughter Nancy Witzel. I think when my wife took that photograph, she was about 30 years old. She passed away a few years ago at the age of 42. Nancy had a host of nicknames, my favorite being Squiggers. Harrison's just quite a character. He loves to bring his tuba and do tuba solos. Dwayne, who's been a long time, as long as I've been here at the Pomeroy Center, he's been in Team V. Everybody loves Dwayne. Very friendly in greeting everyone, and he's just a wonderful guy to have around. Jeannie's a big character. She has an infectious laugh, and she's just an amazing character to get to know. Brian Lee, who's very well known as the best dancer at the Pomeroy Center by far. Crystal and Michelle. Crystal's one of our supervising staff here in the senior department. I don't know anybody who's just doesn't love Crystal to pieces. She's just one of the sweetest people ever. That's our staff member, Maria, with one of our participants named Anna, one of our senior participants who passed away a few years ago. She's missed, and God bless her, this wonderful lady. Lanier and Rowena. I believe that photograph that I based that painting on was taking at one of our dances. David and Philip. David DeJomko there is assisting Philip in bowling. That's a portrait of myself with my two children, Edward and Nancy. The photo was taken by my wife, Pat, at home. We're sitting on our couch. So here I am just having a fun moment with my two kids. They were severely disabled with significant developmental delays and other health issues. At any rate, they were just a joy to have around all the time. Anybody who knew them could tell you that. That's my son, Eddie. I guess he was about 8 years old. Nancy was about 10 or 12 at that time. And the picture project really started after my son, Eddie, passed away in 2004. And at that time, my daughter, Nancy, transferred to this program. Nancy was about 35 at that time. I had always liked to do portraits. It was just a hobby I had. And as a history teacher for over 30 years, I did hundreds of portraits of historical people to illustrate talks about history and what people had done in history. So I really had a strong desire to start drawing and painting the people here at the Pomeroy Center, just to celebrate their unique and amazing lives and just the beauty of their personalities, just to share with everybody here. The paintings that I did at the early part and even ongoing are very largely based on photographs by my wife, Pat Witzel. She had a wonderful gift for connecting with and engaging people and became very popular and well-known all around the Pomeroy Center for her hundreds of pictures of photographs of people here. Alice Sund. She's a beloved member of the Team V department. Anybody who's known Alice for 2 minutes knows she's a character, an incredibly lively, interesting person. ADD personalities named George. I think you know George. You probably see him a lot on our Zoom classes. ADD participants named Jetty. She connects and finds a way to get to know people non-verbally, but in a very sweet way. She's just a lovely person. This painting is one of our participants who's just one of the best artists we have here at the Pomeroy Center, named Jason Monzon, one of the beloved members of the ADD department, named Eddie Whiting, passed away very suddenly here at the center a few years ago. And just kind of a character, a bit cranky at times, but also just very loved by all the staff. He loves staff members. Leslie, she has a class where she reads stories, and she does a wonderful job of storytelling. Staff member Arlene. Arlene, for a number of years, did a wonderful job at the reception desk. And then she got elevated to a job where she works on special events programming and fundraising and all that sort of behind the scenes. There's Carmelo, longtime staff here in the adult development department. Carmelo is an accomplished and trained and highly talented opera singer. That's Amna, one of our senior staff in the team be upstairs. That's Amna. She's just a lovely, lovely person. That's Michelle Egan. She works with Katrina here in the ADD department, and they work pretty hard, I'd say. I'm blanking out. I can't remember the name of that staff member, sweet lady. I remember her personality, though. And that's her with my daughter, Nancy. She's a person who loved every day of her life. Mark Gallo. Mark works in the Team V department. Just one of these phenomenal people. You just have to meet him to kind of get what he's all about. Phyllis Cicottini was a neighbor of the Pomeroy Center. She was a volunteer here for 50 years. That's 50. That's Tyrone Keith and one of our former staff, Sarah Cox. Sandra Knowles was the person who started our computer lab. So that's Eugene. Carol, a long-time participant here in the ADD department. And then to the right of her is another ADD participant. A nice lady who worked for a while in our drama department. Shirley, who is one of my son Eddie's favorite people in the entire world. And that's Chris Mendenhall. I believe that's Latricia, who was many years here in the ADD department. And Marjorie Schiffer. That's Hannah, who for several years was our human resources person in the office. That participant's name was Joe Jordan with the Team B department up there. And his name is JJ, staff member from Africa, and her name was Anastasia. Michelle Egan, who's one of our long-term and greatest employees and staff members here in the ADD department. The gentleman who's with Michelle is Jay Katz. He was our full-time social worker. He's just a great, great human being. We were very blessed to have him here for many years. That's Jamal. He's a participant here in ADD department. Participants called Rachel. This participant's name was Kelly. This is a staff member named Janice who was here at the Pomeroy Center, at least 20 to 25 years. Next one is a participant here in this ADD department named Sunny. Here's one of our longtime participants who sadly passed away very suddenly. My wife and everybody else was very fond of Candace. One of our staff who used to be in the senior department named Karen. Brenda is one of our outstanding and very, very skilled staff members here in ADD department. Here's a staff member who helped very much set up the gallery pictures here, named Michael Van Winkle. This was Bobo. This is a painting of our good family friend and Pomeroy participant David Brandt, our beloved staff member Bethany Catherine. It's our beloved staff member and maintenance person Gilberto. Her name's Savannah. That's Sandra Fernandez. Sandra was one of the early participants in programs with Janet Pomeroy, Diane, Frances Hedgeman. Frances was known for his love of stand-up comedy. There's a participant named Mark. Here's one of our longtime staff members named Alberto. Here's a participant named Eric, John Barboza. Here's a participant named Marcel. This is Larissa. Michelle, who's one of the senior staff in the children teen department. This lady used to work in children teen department. I was surprised to find out that she's a champion martial arts. This is George and Sylvia, a very popular couple here at the Pomeroy Center. This gentleman in ADD department, this person's Linda Toy. This lady's name, I believe, was Ida. This is a participant who loved to be in this room, and this was her pretty much place. This lady was named Tekla. This is Laura Samet, who's still a participant here. She's been here a long time. And here's one of my favorite pictures in the entire gallery. It's my beautiful squigger, also known as Nancy Witzel. This is my daughter Nancy with a staff member named Judy. Judy and my daughter shared a love of cats. Judy passed away. She was very much missed, certainly by the Witzel family, by us, and by everybody else here. She was just a really exceptionally kind, sweet person. When you work here, or you volunteer here, or you're a participant here, you become part of a big, really wonderful family. And that's not just a metaphor, that's true. I often tell volunteers, if you come here for like 4 or 5 times, and then for some reason we can't see you and we don't see you, and you came back a year or 2 years later, people would still remember you. And it's totally true. I often tell visitors, it's not that much of a job. It's more like just being in a really big family where everybody loves and supports each other. For many, many, many families and group home leaders, the Pomeroy Center is, it's like a dream come true. It's a refuge, an oasis, a place that in many cases they've been looking for, where their clients or children or relatives can find a joyful place where people accept and do their best to give them wonderful experiences day after day.